So the geology is really interesting on this side. This hill here is called Peach Knob. It just happens to be a geographic name. A few other landmarks, if you look due east, there's what looks like a gun sight. Can people visualize that up on the ridge? Okay, that's Gun Sight Gap. There used to be, well, there still is a road from here up over the ridge just to the left of Gun Sight Gap. That's now gated. It's an awful road. You barely could ever drive it anyway, but so no loss. The butte just to the right of Gun Sight Gap is my favorite butte because it's called Hart's Butte. That's my name. Anyway, the new mining copper world extends all the way up to the ridgeline, and they will take the ridgeline away as well. You can see all these worked lands up here. Most of those are small areas where they've bulldozed flat land to drill. So this land now has been drilled in every conceivable way. There are probably 500 drill sites. And so the land disturbance is due to the drilling, not the mining. They don't have a permitted mine yet. So the geology is really fun because Peach Knob is one of their open pit sites. Okay, well, it's a mountain, not a pit. Well, they say that there'll be an open pit here after they mine this area. But the geology tells us that under Peach Knob, and basically where we're standing, is a horizontal fault. Okay, it's a horizontal place where the land has been broken, and Peach Knob sits on top of this fault. It's called the low angle detachment fault. That doesn't tell you much, but it's almost flat. But Peach Knob used to be up on top of mountains, and it was faulted down here, so the fault surface is underground up there, but it literally outcrops around the bottom of Peach Knob. Someday you want to go see a low angle detachment fault, you walk up to the edge of Peach Knob. But the big point of that is Peach Knob itself has pretty good copper values, and it's mineable. It would be mined as a quarry, clearly, because it's not an open pit. The problem with an open pit here, once they quarry away all this surface on top of the fault, all the copper's on top of the fault. Ironically, the fault has moved all this stuff in place, but under the fault is Precambrian granite, zero copper. So when you look at the drilling records for Peach Knob, they've drilled 300-400 foot drill sites. The longest one is 800 feet. Turns out it's 800 feet from the fault to the top. So they know exactly what they have. They've drilled through the copper part into this Precambrian basement. They know there's a fault there. They know there's zero copper underneath. So they're going to quarry it down to the fault. And the same fault runs all the way up to the ridge line. And so everything in Copper World, which they claim is part of their mine, is actually sitting on a fault, which is sitting on useless, barren rock. And they know all this. So they aren't really telling their investors the truth. They will mine it anyway because they're desperate. They don't have Rosemont. Rosemont's the real mine. Rosemont is what they want to be able to mine. And I have a personal opinion that they own all the land for the open pit on Rosemont. That wasn't their problem. Problem was the waste rock that comes out of the open pit after they take the copper minerals out has to be put in a tailings pile. And they have no room on that side. They were going to put it on National Forest Service land. And that's where the legal thing said, well, the 1872 mining law says you can't do that, even though they've been doing it for 100 years. So the lawyer, this brilliant guy, honest to God, he's just impressive. His law thesis was built on the true meaning of the 1872 mining law. And his thesis was 1995. So since then, he's been trying to find a place to put his thesis to practice. And he found it, and honestly, that ruling of the Ninth Circuit affects every mine project in the U.S. So there's a lithium mine on the north side of Nevada that is under legal assault right now for the same law. And there's a molybdenum mine there that's actually been stopped, project. So this one win here in Rosemont is propagated all over the whole country.